Hey Fit Fam, Coach Rod from Team Flex. Today we're going to get into Francielle versus Francielle. Fran versus Fran from Olympia to the Arnold. It's pretty exciting to see her improvements. And as you guys know, the Arnold, really put a big distance of gap between her and Issa, in my opinion, and I think in the judges' opinions as well, as far as who will continue to reign in wellness. So I want to break that down for you, what improvements she did make from the Olympia to now, and what that means for you if you're a wellness competitor at any capacity, any level, whatever it is you're trying to do, whether you've never done this before, you're about to get into it, or you're someone trying to get a pro card, or even beyond that. You're going to learn some stuff in this video, so make sure you're with me, make sure you subscribe. I got tons of other great content coming, and I appreciate anything you guys can do. Let me know your thoughts about Fran here in the comments below. What do you think? Did she improve? Do you like her improvements? Do you like the direction of wellness? Let me know in those comments, you guys, and let's get to it, okay? So first thing I want to say is I'm using Gilco videos here, you guys, okay? So if you're familiar with Gilco on Instagram, they've pretty much got the best quality videos that we're going to find out there in, for really what we're going to see in these divisions. It's better than actually just looking at pictures and things like that, but the Arnold pictures are not even on NPC News Aligned, so this is what we're using, okay? So I'm going to just put these side by side and kind of break down these poses for you, okay? So clearly we have the Olympia on the left, and then we have Arnold on the right here, okay? So there's not a huge distance of time between these shows, just some months, but a lot of improvements have been made and really taking the direction of wellness even in a better position in my place, right? Like Francielle looks like she has really just improved in every bit of capacity, and I've said she's a dominant force in wellness, and I think she is and will continue to be as long as she wants to be. Overall, I don't see her, getting into the spot where that's going to slow down at all. But let's just talk about it. So wellness, we want to be in that zone where we still have that upper body, the shoulder development, everything there. It's got to have a little bit of this rounding effect. This is what's going to really indicate to the judges that you have been working, that upper body position. And judges are going to want to see that across the board to make sure that you are doing that. It's not just to say you only train legs and wellness and things like that. I've seen some coaches talking about that recently, and it kind of blew my mind. You really got to be focused on every factor of the upper body too. It's just to the degree where you want to make sure lower body looks disproportionately larger, okay? So you see that in the glutes and in the quads, and then when we get to the back, you'll see that in the hamstrings as well, okay? And that's the same thing for, Francielle here. She's got really that nice look, that whole clean kind of factor to the physique where it just sweeps perfectly into the lower body to show us, okay, this is the wellness division. Now, what she did change in this pose, okay, let's take a look. Shoulders look pretty similar, maybe a little bit more development here, nothing too insane, nothing too crazy to the point, that's going to take her off. She also did, bring up the lower body a little bit, actually into the quads, which was interesting to me, but it actually does balance her physique out more. So you see over here, looks like the glutes are a little bit over dominant in the sense, right, compared to the lower body balance. Now, just because wellness is asymmetrical upper to lower does not mean, by the way, that your lower body muscles need to be asymmetrical. Like, you're not supposed to have bigger glutes than you are kind of quads and hamstrings in that sense, right? You want to have a balance effect. The athletes with the best balance between those is going to be the ones that are really going to showcase, better on stage and place better. So remember, yes, you want to be upper to lower, disproportionately larger in the lower body, but you still want to have that good balance. So Fran actually went to work and, kind of rebalanced her look. Like, glutes look a little bit more disproportionate here compared to the quads. And over here at the Arnold, it's different. So we still got a lot of glute effect, but we also got, the quads development there. They're a little bit more sweep, a little bit more of that, that really balances out her lower body nicely. And I think that was a huge, huge advantage for her. And I'm sure her feedback from Olympia was to, bring a little bit more of that balance in and let's just get it right, okay? So that's a huge factor for her in that front pose, and it really does define for us, again, more of that iconic wellness look. The other thing that's clearly a little bit different is her waist. A little bit tighter in the waist, a little bit more tapered in, okay? A little bit less of the lat, you guys. This is important, okay? If you're taking notes, stick with me here. A little bit less lat development, a little bit, tighter in the midsection. This is what we know about wellness. That tapered look is always going to be favored, okay? So make sure you have that. You got to have that taper. The shoulders that go into the waist, And the more narrow you can get the waist, honestly, at this point, the better you're going to be, because it's going to make your lower body look more dramatic, and it's going to give you those better placings across the board. Okay, so now as we look through from that front pose there, transition poses, not too crazy, a little bit of quarter turn here. Now this is what we're going to see. So again, a lot of those tweaks that I mentioned are very, very prevalent here, very in the same zone. So upper body, again, pretty on par with what we saw at Olympia. Even this angle here at the waist looks pretty comparable into that lat. But what's different is definitely the lower body depth, okay? The lower body has a lot more muscle mass to the quads. This is interesting to see, and better balance to the glute, again, than it did over here. So her glutes look disproportionately a little bit larger at Olympia. And again, keep in mind, she still won Olympia. She's the wellness champion, right? Like, there's still the best physique that day, but how she continued to improve and push the criteria was to come here and do a little bit more in the sense of, okay, here we go, look at this. Now we got a little bit more of the balance in the lower body. So that's pretty exciting stuff for this wellness division, I think, you guys. It's very good to see the direction of this really shaping out nicely for, the basic athlete at any level who's starting to go, on to finish. The criteria at Olympia sets the criteria for the whole divisions across the board. Whether it's your first show or your 50th, it doesn't matter. You still got to fit the criteria, okay? So let's take a look now at the back pose. This is where we are going to see some more changes here that happen. So part of that better balancing effect from her glutes, by the way, was kind of downsizing the glutes. So as you can see here, looking over here, her glutes still have that kind of classic shape, the fullness to the upper glute, the fullness on the side, all the way down to the ham tie, that separation there that judges want to see. They do want to see this. She had it over here at Olympia, but again, they look disproportionately larger. Okay, you can see that the glutes are a little bit bigger, especially compared to the quads and everything here, than they are at the Arnold. So a lot of big changes were made in that sense over here when we're looking at the Arnold. She really went and kind of brought the glutes down to rebalance in and brought the quads up to rebalance that as well. So symmetry in the lower body is what a really clear message we're being sent from the judges right now, saying, hey, we want to see wellness athletes be asymmetrical, yes, upper to lower, but we want that symmetry in the lower body, okay? We want those muscles to match. We don't want the disproportionate. Keep in mind, this is her show to show, so she won both of these competitions. She's going to continue to win, but I just wanted to show you guys the example of how to continue to advance her physique and how she's going to continue to, again, dominate the wellness division. I very doubt that she had really virtually any feedback from the Arnold. They probably said, that was great, you're all really on point, keep doing that. And obviously they're telling us that with the placings, okay? So again, a little bit more structure and shape into the glutes, a little bit more of that balancing effect from the lower body, built in the quads more. That's pretty exciting stuff for all of you out there that really love to train legs and really love to aim at that, okay? This is where you're getting to see that come through. And conditioning wise, not a huge improvement. You guys might say, okay, well, what is this, right? Because looking over here at the Olympia, the glute tie-in, the ham tie-in looks a little bit more depth, right? It looks like it's a little deeper in there, but realistically, this all stems from, actually the fact that she reduced that muscle. So it's still the same level of conditioning. She did not get any softer for this competition. It's all across the board. You'll see the same lines everywhere, the same ones judges want to see. The reason that looks a little bit different, it could be even effective lighting at the stage, but it is also definitely effective the fact that the glutes have reduced in size. So there's going to be less of that shadow effect you're going to see over here at Olympia versus what you see here at the Arnold. And honestly, it does favor her. It makes it look like a more complete, more kind of flow structure physique in the muscle department there. It doesn't make the glutes look as dramatic, which is good for what they want to see, considering she was a little bit over dominant at the Olympia there. Okay, so yeah, very exciting stuff, you guys. When we're looking at this basically means you want to continue to work the lower body, but in symmetry. Don't just focus on one of those muscle groups too much. And again, you can see it just in every pose she does. This is basically, right on point with everything as far as muscle goes, as balance goes, everything across the board. This is wellness criteria, and she really put a huge gap again between her and Issa. So it was a 1 point difference at Olympia. And, it's probably many points difference. I didn't see the official scorecard yet, but it's probably many points different here from the Arnold, because Issa did not come in as good as Olympia. And, also Francielle really came in and said, hey, I'm going to put a big gap between that because you ain't coming to take the title, right? So Fran is really going to be the standard of the criteria for as long as she wants, in my opinion. She will continue to reign this title. There's nobody really creeping up, and I don't know that we'll see anybody that does. We eventually will. She'll either retire or somebody will come up and set the new criteria, but for now, this is the criteria. So if you're a wellness competitor, start taking note of that. You want to be disproportionate up to lower. You want to make sure you still have that muscle shape up top, that good taper in the waist, the midsection there, and then really lower body. Start focusing more on the balance between muscle groups, really the quads and how they tie into the hamstrings and how they tie into the glutes and what lines are showing here and how are the glutes bigger than the quads, and do you need to downsize? Do you need to bring that up, right? So this all becomes important, and we've seen wellness recently take a direction where it's like mass monster central. There's some athletes just come out and they look like they're humongous, and they're they just look like they're really, really pushing the criteria too far, and they're not doing well, you guys. Okay, just keep that in mind. They're not doing well. So they might look great on Instagram, they might look great in posts, whatever you see, but they're not winning the big competitions like the Arnold and the Olympia, where that is where we get the criteria. And the messages judges are sending us with this criteria is what you need to bring to your training, to your overall look, to everything, to really focus on that symmetry in that lower body and that shape overall. So again, you guys, a lot more Arnold coming, more coverage overall on this channel, and I'm going to keep giving you guys the tools, the tips, the strategies you need to do your best on the competition stage. So please make sure you subscribe, and if you like these types of videos, drop me a comment because I'll make more of them. I'll keep doing it. I like doing these for you, and I know it helps you. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like the new look of wellness? What do you think about the placings at the Arnold? Do you think they should have been different? Comment it below. Thanks for watching. Coach Rai is out.